Good morning. Welcome, everyone. First up is public communication. I do want to take the chair's prerogative here and just read the statement I have prepared. Some of us have already done that, but I just want to read mine, and then we'll be able to have some conversation amongst us afterwards today. So we have a number of people signed up, so we're going to have a long meeting. I'm going to continue to allow the 3 minutes time limit, so I'm not going to cut that short. I think we can get it done today. So please honor that and respect that. So I'm going to read my statement, and here goes. The charges against Commissioner Fireside are extremely concerning. The Board of Commissioners will consider all options in the absence of an immediate resignation. I believe Commissioner Fireside should recognize that the public's trust in our county is at stake. In my 20 years of public service, when faced with very difficult circumstances, it is wise to consider what is in the best interest of the county and its citizens over what is best for oneself. So those are my comments. Would you like to go first?
Thank you. Sure. Thank you, Vice Chair. Sure. None of us want to be here dealing with this right now. Our colleague, Commissioner Fireside, as of this week, faces 8 felony counts, some of the worst type of crimes that can be done to another person. You know, people make mistakes, things happen, but abusing the most vulnerable population in a predatory way is unconscionable. Whether they're a child that's isolated and vulnerable, whether it's an 83-year-old man with cognitive disabilities and health issues who in his grand jury had to testify from his hospital room, there's just a different level here. I believe our responsibility as county commissioners is to the taxpayers, and that's why we're all here. We heard that in testimony today. The county exists because taxpayers fund this, and they have a certain level of expectation that we operate in an ethical and professional manner that continues to garner that trust that allows us to do the important work of the people that we are called to serve. I believe that Commissioner Fireside is incapable of doing that, and she has broken that trust, and she has now put the trust of this board with the public in jeopardy also. I've already done this formally, but here on this dais today, I call for her formal resignation swiftly and immediately, now. I can tell you this, everybody on this dais, and I even will say Chair Roberts takes this very seriously, and that we are looking at every option we can within our legal authority to protect the county and to bring accountability. We are looking to operate quickly. You know, I can't gloss over this reality. There tends to be a type of politician or activist that comes out of the Emerge program. Emerge is an activist group that's supposed to prepare people to run for elected office. Many of them feel entitled to the office, and then once they get that office they feel entitled to, instead of serving the public, they have to leave in disgrace. We just lost the Secretary of State, Shemia Fagan, that was a graduate of that group. We have now Melissa Fireside, Commissioner Fireside, a graduate of that group where she began to engage in local activism and politics. Not a criminal, and I'm not stating this, but there's also a lot of incompetency coming out of that group from other people who have been involved in that. I just think it's interesting how Melissa Fireside, even from this own dais, will opine and champion the most vulnerable. She'll virtue signal at every opportunity in the public and from this dais about how she's fighting for the small guy. Quite sanctimonious, too. All while, premeditated, she victimized and preyed on this community and an elderly man who cannot defend himself. This is a moral issue, this is a problem, and the Board of County Commissioners must take every measure it can to protect this county. we can't ask any employee in this county who works at any level that if they were in the same situation that they would have to take leave to deal with their felony criminal issues without pay. We sure better not grant Melissa Fireside pay with leave as she faces felony charges. But no other employee in Clackamas County would have that benefit. So I'm prepared to make a motion as we try to move forward with this and get to additional county business. I move that the board of the BCC temporarily suspend Commissioner Fireside's pay as of March 2nd, 2024, pending further review by the county council and Commissioner Fireside's administrative leave announcement.
This is an extremely difficult job. And I've always said to people, sometimes it's your job to take the tomatoes. These indictments are real. It has to go through a process. And that process will determine guilt or innocence. But I agree. I believe that Commissioner Fireside needs to come to work to earn her pay. I don't think, I've been on this dais many times, and as you know, I'm the sacrificial Democrat, okay, up here, but I still believe it's my duty, whether I agree or disagree with you, to show up and do the job. So that is my concern. I don't know what the outcome's going to be. These allegations are terribly serious, and it's going to have to go through a judicial process to prove innocence or guilt. But I would request that Commissioner Fireside, if she is not, I agree with Commissioner West, if she is taking a leave, it should be a leave without pay, because we need all 5 of us up here at the dais to do the work. So that's where I am seconding the motion. We have to go through the process. Things seem dire, and we will find out as the process moves forward whether Commissioner Fireside is guilty or innocent. But if she stays away, you have to be here to do the duty of the county. So that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah. So thank you, commissioners, for your comments. I will, we have always been, not always, but for often, find ourselves in some very difficult positions and circumstances, and this one's unique for us, for me, unique for Clackamas County, frankly. And I think the word trust or gaining trust, I think a lot of us know what trust is. And we know when we lose trust in someone or an organization or a government, it is very hard and difficult to repair that. And the loss of time, effort, dollars, monies that come with that are something that impacts us all and run very deep. So we really can't do the good work that we do without our statutorily designed 5-person board. So the vagueness of the notice that we received from Commissioner Fireside with regard to how long should we have gone, we don't know. And so I think that the way the motion is worded, I think is spot on. And we will make sure it's properly worded, and we hope that she will at least come to work and address that. It's unfortunate that we are taking the tomatoes today. So I know a lot of the comments weren't directed at us. I get that. So, but the pressure and the work that we need to do, we need to get our work done. And I think a lot of you heard today a number of varied issues besides Commissioner Fireside's circumstances. But I always go back to being in a very difficult circumstance, and it's kind of my closing comments of my public statement on this matter. Sometimes you have to just simply put your self-interest aside and ask yourself, what is in the best interest of the majority of the citizens of Clackamas County? And that is what I always fall back on at the end of the day. It may not be popular. Sometimes it's, you make some people happy, you make everyone unhappy, but at the end of the day, you do the best you can with the knowledge you have. Lastly, on this matter, I did hear a lot of people talk about or raise what people knew, or what people knew what and who knew when. We didn't know very much. Matter of fact, I learned a lot yesterday. And I think it's fair to say that probably most everyone on this dais today and recently probably had no idea of the magnitude of these charges. I had no idea. So, you know, I do know as investigations, and we've been counseled that those are held tight within the district attorney or Department of Justice, so we can't really expect them to, we got to give them the latitude to do their investigation, and this is what they found, we get that. But I'll tell you what, I think the media did the best they could to expose everything that they had knowledge of and that they could validate. And frankly, that's really been our source. My point of bringing the media up in this is that's been our source. And again, we learned a lot, and I'm still trying to go over all the material that we got as of late yesterday. I'm sure there's more to come, but I will appreciate the motion, and so therefore, see no further comments,